What's going on, guys? Bexio back, and today we got a brand new video with the CPI data inflation report that came out today, and it's not good. Not good at all, which is why markets are crashing, not looking good. Stocks just hitting lower and lower lows, just everything tumbling down right now. And it's partly due to the inflation report, which is higher than expected, which means we continue to have economists that don't know how to make an outlook on inflation, which is a problem because how do you predict inflation if you can't even have, good outcomes to try and predict inflation? So it's just very hard there. But basically, this is the CPI report right here, and we can see 8.3% inflation for this month. So last month, so April is what this data is for. And why is this a massive problem? Because this is now compounding inflation. We've had really bad inflation last year. The inflation numbers were high last year, and now they are still high. Last month was 8.5%, so this is 8.3. People are gonna say it's coming down, it's good, it's coming down, but it's really not. It's compounding, which is a problem because it's bad inflation last year, bad inflation still this year when it should be going down. It should have went down way more than this if, inflation was getting better. It should be like 6% or something because last year was so bad with inflation that it has to be better, but it's not. It's worse. So this is compounding inflation. And we can see that right here with this chart. So if we look, you can see this is the first month where inflation started getting really high. We had 2020, obviously the kind of low numbers, not a lot of stuff going on. 2021, 1.4, 1.7, 2.6. So these are starting to ramp up, but this April number was 4.2, which was the first one in the series that was high, that was really higher than expected, higher than we thought it was supposed to be, and started this kickoff. And you can see here, went to 5, 5.4, 5.4, 5.3, and stayed in the fives, and went up to 6, went up to 7, and then still went up, is up to 8, and now you look at these 7.5 comparing to 1.4. So this is the lower month. Again, the lower month. March was the lower month, and this was the start of when it started getting bad. So it should have been that this number started getting good. It started going down because you already had high inflation. That means we had inflation with prices went up. And then this one, inflation, if it was to match this inflation, would still be lower than whatever it was. But that means we had prices going up, and then we have prices continuing to go up higher than even the rates that were before. So it's ridiculous numbers, compounding inflation, which just makes things really, really bad. So that would be reasons why the market would be down, because people are seeing this, saying we have compounding inflation. It beat expectations. It's not good. We don't know how to predict this. It's just unpredictable. And that's the worst thing for the market to have, is something that they can't price in or predict, is just very volatile, going to make things go down quickly. So we're seeing that. And if we look this on a chart here, we can see that it is ridiculously high. So 8.3% in April. And you can see, to see levels like this, you'd have to go back to the 80s. So we're continuing this decade high streak of inflation where it's literally 40 years high inflation. And you have to go back to the 80s where you can see this insane swings in inflation. So it's not a good sign to see that we're at these levels when you look back through multiple decades and seeing that we're just absolutely obliterating these and going all the way to the top. So not good at all. And it's even kind of worse if you look at this too, core inflation, which excludes cost of groceries and gas, picked up 0.6% in April from the prior month, faster than its 0.3% increase in March. So it went faster. That's not good. That's things excluding groceries and gas. So, I mean, I guess if you can live without eating or without using energy, then you're good. But if you can't, it's still just getting worse. Everything is just getting worse. So the Fed's not going to come to save the day. If these numbers were better, if these numbers were showing signs that they were going down, they were meeting expectations, things were getting better, then the Fed might step into the market and save the day, by like the end of the year. But at this rate, it doesn't seem like they can do that. And we actually even have Bullard saying the Fed has a 50 basis point hike for future meetings. So basically saying, you know, the Fed is planning on higher rate hikes. They're going to tame inflation. They got to go after it and try and get it under control. Can they do it? Who knows? But you know, this coming out gives the market even more fear, saying they said they weren't going to go crazy with these rate hikes. So now they're still going crazy. If we go to the market though, we can see still just everything red. Literally everything is red except for oil, which I mean, they'll probably be red tomorrow. It's just what oil does for some reason. But Chevron and Exxon are the only green. So if we look at this, we can see the giant names. Amazon down 3%. That's insane moves for Amazon. Tesla down 8%. Tesla's a volatile company. Okay, acceptable that's doing that. Apple down 5%. That is ridiculous. Apple does not move like this. 5% in a day for Apple. Just insane volatility, massive uncertainty, unknowns, and the biggest company in the world is getting beaten down because of it. So nobody is safe. Google actually held on, down 0.5%. That's I don't know why Google is holding on so well, but they're doing it. Netflix continues to sell off. Alibaba, I mean, that's Chinese. Robinhood down 12%. I mean, these things are just crazy that they're getting beating up. I mean, even Bitcoin, much more of a tough, you know, kind of situation there, not directly linked to this inflation stuff and Fed talk, but kind of the Luna stuff going on is affecting Bitcoin and crypto much more. But still, just nothing is safe in this market. Your cash isn't safe because inflation's eating it away. Your stocks aren't safe because they're just collapsing because of all the uncertainty. Crypto's not safe because Luna's imploding, and on top of that, the Fed and stuff affects crypto as well. Just nothing seems safe. So it's kind of crazy times. If they can somehow manage to get inflation under control, that would be probably a miracle at this point. Even if we look at the S&P 500, this thing is down 1.6%, nearing 2%, continues its downfall from these the highs here. If we just do something super simple like this, just kind of mapping out, I mean, even if we go down like this, where the original would have been, something like that, it's just massive, just down moves. We thought we broke it, thought we would get off, and then it just insane sell-off, plummeting through back down into this little downtrend thing here, which isn't really anything, but just kind of marking the top here, moving down. And it's just been continuing to move down. There's been nothing good going on. This has been the worst stock market start in decades. Things are not looking good. There's so much uncertainty, so much unknown, and so much that can't be priced into the market because nobody knows, that it's just everything's going crazy. And, you know, the Fed came in. They printed so much money. They helped the market so much for the last 2 years that maybe at this point the market's addicted to that and needs it and is worried about doing anything without the Fed. It just seems like that's the kind of environment we're in right now, where people and investors will only invest in the market if the Fed is there to backstop them and push money in, provide liquidity. If the Fed stops and starts tightening, then everyone all of a sudden is, all right, we're out of the market. We'll wait until this thing gets terrible and the Fed has to come and step back in. So not a good spot for it to be. But for right now, that's basically where we are. So inflation continues to get worse. Doesn't seem like any signs of stopping. Doesn't seem like anyone can give valuable predictions about it. So a lot of just unknowns. And right now, you know, maybe we'll see bounces up, but every single rally we have had has resulted in a sell-off. So who knows what's happening short term. I think this whole year is going to be insanely tough to do anything. And we're just going to have to wait until inflation somehow subsides, you know, by the end of the year maybe. And the Fed can finally kind of stop being so hawkish, and maybe that can turn people around. But at this point, you know, anything is possible. No one knows about anything that's going on. So we'll see how it all plays out. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And I'll see you guys in my next video.